You can start whenever. Breaking news!
Hello, and welcome to the Y High Daily. My name is Kaylee, and this is my partner Samir.
Good afternoon. Today we will be discussing queer theories.
In breaking news, people are recently protesting compulsory heterosexuality, which is a term used to describe the pressure put on people to be homosexual. Some people regard it to be an obligation, that they have no other choice but to be attracted to those of the opposite sex. This may be due to religion, culture, or just popular belief.
Oh, I've heard of that before. There's a subtle belief that everyone is hetero.
No. That's homosexual.
What? What's the difference?
Homocentrism stresses the subtle assumption that everyone is and thinks in a heterosexual way, whether they truly are or not. Compulsory heterosexuality is more upfront.
Okay.
In fact, some protesters would even argue that compulsory heterosexuality is imposed upon minorities by the male gender, as if women are being forced to be heterosexual by men.
That's interesting. Wait a second. What?
What's most interesting of all is it's most commonly found in literature. When someone reads a book, they automatically assume that the characters are heterosexual unless told otherwise, without even being told any background information about the culture or the author.
Well, I just read this really good book. I just finished reading this really good book the other day. I didn't even think about that.
Speaking of friendship, now on to Ali.
Hello and welcome to our show. Our topic for today will be about homosociality and role it plays in our society, and as well as in future.
Isn't homosociality that thing where people have same-sex relationships?
No, that is completely wrong. The thing is, homosociality involves social relationships between people of the same sex. These social relationships aren't necessarily romantic, but rather involve friendships or mentorships.
So basically friends of the same gender. Why don't we just call that friendship?
Unlike a typical friendship, these social relationships between two people of the same sex are extremely close together with one another on an emotional level. However, that doesn't really imply any romantic feelings. You may have heard of these types of relationships, and they are often called romances in popular culture.
Oh yeah, I've definitely heard of romance before. So, are there different... Oh yeah, I've definitely heard of romance before. So are there any differences between homosociality and sexuality?
That is an excellent question. Eve Sedgwick, a scholar specializing in queer studies, has suggested that there definitely is a relationship between homosexuality and sexuality. A prime example of this is the relationship between Mikage, Yuichi, and Eriko. Mikage and Eriko both share a strong homosocial relationship, while Yuichi serves as a conduit between the two, meaning that their love for Yuichi is what helped them facilitate a close homosocial relationship between one another.
Thank you. And now back to Kaylee.
In local news, Fuchu Youth House has been sued by the LGBTQ Acur organization for banning them from using the same-sex bathhouse rooms. We'll now go to Kathleen at the scene.
Hi, behind me is a local bathhouse, Fuchu Youth House. Recently, they've been sued by the gay rights activist group Acur for discriminating and refusing service due to unfair assumptions that homosexual acts were being committed in the same-sex bathhouse rooms.
Oh, wow, Kathleen, it looks like the Tokyo Metropolitan District government has just released their final ruling on this matter. They have just said that there is no concrete evidence that homosexual activity is, was, or will be occurring in the rooms. Thus, gays cannot be refused service. What great news.
Well, it wasn't like this in the olden days. A long time ago, queer activities were the norm.
No way. Japan was always conservative towards the LGBTQ community.
Nope, in traditional Japanese society, priests would have sexual relationships with young boys that cross-dressed as women because they were banned from having relationships with women. And samurai would commonly have romantic relationship with other samurai because working for the love of a female was emasculating. It was only during the Meiji era, from 1868 to 1912, when the Western ideas that homosexuality was a sin and a sickness began influencing Japan. But nowadays, Japan is fighting for LGBTQ rights. A whopping 5% of Japan is actually LGBTQ, but less than 50% of the population are for gay marriage. They've recently been holding rallies to have pride marches, and in the summer of 2015, the largest district in Tokyo began protecting the rights of LGBTQ couples, giving them right of notification upon the death of a loved one, protecting them from housing discrimination, hospital visitation, and medical consulting rights.
Wow, they're really making great strides to protect the rights of the community of minorities.
True, I haven't showered in a week, so I might as well go wash up.
Goodbye, Kathleen. It's always a pleasure talking to you. You know, whenever I think of a bathhouse, I always want to curl up with a good book and some tea. Speaking of which, it's time for afternoon tea with Samir.
Welcome to Afternoon Tea with Samir, and as always, I'm your host, Samir.
And I'm Kaylee.
Today we will be covering the book Kitchen by an author with quite the name, Banana Yoshimoto.
Interesting name, isn't it?
Quite, and an interesting book at that. There are many social and cultural cues hidden in the stories. Coincidentally, the book relates a lot to what we talked about earlier today.
Really? How does it relate?
Well, when I first began to read the book, I really felt that homocentrism was present throughout the novel. For example, when Mikage first met Eriko, she remarked that Eriko was so stunningly beautiful that she couldn't take her eyes off of her. Mikage was stunned when Yuichi told her that Eriko was once a man.
I don't remember this part of the book, but then again, I didn't really read it, so.
Well, it sure did happen. Mikage responded to her discovery that Eriko was a man by thinking to herself, "This was too much." I stared at him in wide-eyed silence. This response was provoked due to the subtle assumption that everyone is a heterosexual, and that is known as homocentrism.
We learned earlier that Japanese society is very, very tolerant towards the LGBTQ community. What is the general perception of the LGBTQ community in Kitchen?
Great question. As a matter of fact, the people of Japan as shown in Kitchen were very tolerant of LGBTQ rights, especially due to the large number of LGBTQ people living in the city of Tokyo. We can see this throughout the novella as well. People were generally very kind to Eriko, and Mikage referred to Eriko as a bright, shining, positive light throughout the novel.
Interesting, and Eriko wasn't even her mother, yes?
Correct. Mikage and Eriko shared quite an interesting bond. In fact, they had a very strong homosocial bond, a very close relationship between two people of the same exact gender.
We learned that term earlier with Aline, right?
We did.
Well, it looks like we're all out of time. On behalf of the Why High Daily, my name is Kaylee, and good night, good luck, and God bless you. Hey, what's up? Hello.
On video, but it's not. Is it recording? I don't understand.
Just took a picture, so.
Hello.
Hey, what's up? Hello.
Chit chat, chit chat, chit chat.
Ready? Hello, and welcome to the Why High Daily. My name is Kaylee, and this is my partner Samir.
Good afternoon. Today we will be discussing queer theories.
In breaking news, people are recently protesting compulsory heterosexuality. Can we start over?
Just keep going. Just like, okay, 3, 2, 1.
And then start from heterosexuality.
Or wait, no, we can just start over. It's like one line.
Oh, okay, fine. Stop. It's okay, we can go, okay, and then go to the next line.
No, I think I said that.
Shut up!
I said bathhouse rooms.
Okay, wait, one more time, sorry.
No, we're not. I'm going.
No,
to the next line.
we're gonna go to the next line. We're gonna cut all of this out.
Oh, well, Kathleen, it looks like the Tokyo Metropolitan District government has just released the
Wait.
final ruling.
I was still talking when you said, oh wow.
No way, Japan was always conservative towards the LGBT.
Azerbaijan or something. Dude, I can't say it either. LGBT.
It's so hard to say it.
LGBTQ occur organization.
It's like LGBT.
Try saying it. Say my line. In local news, say it.
In local news, Fuzhou Youth House.
See?
Fuzhou.
See?
Wait.
That was fine. What did,
Okay, now say your line.
Yeah.
No way.
No way. Japan was always conservative. Why can't I say this and I can say that? Alright.
Towards LGBTQ community.
Come on, woman. Okay, let's do it together.
Okay.
LGBTQ. LGBTQ. Okay.
You wanna like flip it? Do you wanna do my line or my line?
No. Tea. Speaking of which, it's now on to Samir with afternoon tea with Samir.
You guys have to have similar names because it's like KS and KP and they're not color coded either, so it's so confusing.
Okay, you ready?
Wait. Don't say Samir 2 times. It's okay.
I wasn't supposed to. I just didn't want
And then you realize in the same night, the next line, I'm like,
See, I was-
welcome to Afternoon Tea with Samir. I'm your host Samir, so we just said Samir like 6 times in 20 seconds.
Tell you guys are laughing at me or not, because all I can hear is myself.
Okay, we'll do it now.
Nope.
We're ready to go. Okay, we gotta back up a little bit though.
So, you gotta back up.
Hello, why aren't you autofocusing?
Ah!
No. Why? What just happened?
This is my
Ew. Wait, what? Is it? Hello. Wait.
Are you ready to go?
It's okay. Give me comedic. Do that again. Okay, do it from like afternoon tea with Samir. Your line.
So hard.
Okay, let's go.
Ready? Ali, do you know how to do it?
Do you the camera?
Do you want to do this before or no?
I might fall, but that's okay. Do you know how to do the whip? Okay, do you know how to do the whip?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
All you gotta do
I
is you
wanna
go like
be in the
this.
middle.
You go like, okay.
That's so random.
Come
Just
here.
like-
Come
It's
here.
the intro,
All you
it's
do
fine.
is you lift this hand and this foot,
And then you go,
you
boom.
lean and punch them.
Okay.
You go like,
Okay, you do a few and then let's
and then you wave goodbye.
and then we're gonna go. Woo! Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, are you ready?
Let's just.
Guys,
No.
come here.
What would be cool is if we just like whip and then we just went to the next scene.
Yes. Ready?
No, we gotta do wave goodbye, and then they go to the next thing because you wave goodbye.
Okay, are we doing the whip and naming?
It's
Are we
the
going like
intro,
1, 2,
no.
3?
Okay, let's do 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Okay, are you guys
Okay, let's
ready?
start with the right foot. Okay. Okay.
Nice.
1, 2, 3. Wait, what is the timing? Wait, is it like
Oh,
1,
you
2,
better- I can't
3,
see
or is it
anything.
1?
I can't
Two.
see anything. I really can't
Do we go like this, or is it like?
Yeah, you have to do that, but like I'm gonna fall over if I do it really fast.
Okay, let's do it really slow.
Alright, ready? I'm gonna watch your
It's
feet.
3:30.
Are you guys ready?
Okay, okay,
I'm
1.
scooching
Let's
here
go,
so I
let's
can
go.
see you. Ready?
1. Ali, are you doing it? Let's do it, okay.
This is really.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah,